We welcome you to Johnson Stadium here in Greenville, North Carolina, featuring two programs very familiar with NCAA tournament soccer. It's the Utah Valley Wolverines out of the WAC taking on the Memphis Tigers of the American Athletic Conference. This is a 12th combined meeting between these two schools, very familiar with the tournament and trying to advance to take on Arkansas this Saturday in round 2 of the NCAA Soccer Championships. Welcome inside the booth with the darling of our broadcast, Jordan Darling, the coach here at ECU, Evan Budrovich, getting you ready for the start of this matchup. Memphis unbeaten in 8 straight matches. Utah Valley winning out its league play. What excites you most about today's contest?
Should be a great match. I'm definitely looking forward to how high energy both of these teams are, and I think it's going to be a battle from minute 1.
Utah Valley is led by Cassidy McCormick off the bench. She's been a huge contributor as a senior. How does she impact her team?
I think she's going to be a big addition to them off the bench. She's going to bring energy. She's going to come in, and Chris LeMay is going to be looking for her to provide something substantial to them.
Playing 20 games this year, McCormick has been so critical with those 3 goals off the bench, a couple of assists as well. And for the Memphis Tigers, a club getting an automatic berth as a non-AQ, Tanya Boychuk, the junior midfielder slash attacker. How can she impact her team as a first-team all-conference performer?
Very powerful player. If she's within range, you better watch out because she will strike the ball. And if she puts us on frame, then the keeper will be tested today.
Memphis very balanced. 4 players with 3 or more goals, including Tanya, part of the all-conference team in the American. And that's what makes this matchup so fascinating. 2 teams that can really score it. It's Utah Valley and Memphis. We'll have the starting lineups right after this on ESPN3. Welcome back to Johnson Stadium here in Greenville, continuing day 1 coverage of the NCAA Soccer Championships here in the first round. And Utah Valley comes in playing 20 games here on the season, 5th most in the country. So much experience for this group that won the WAC tournament over Seattle just last week. And how about this? Their last loss came against a nationally ranked team in BYU.
A lot of momentum on their side. If anyone watched their final championship match against Seattle, their second half, they were on fire.
The Memphis Tigers with an RPI of 32 sneak into the tournament, their 4th appearance in the last 5 years. And head coach Brooks Monaghan sort of said, we're on cloud 9 right now, finally making the tournament. He didn't think his team would get in after a loss to Cincinnati and a second chance for the Tigers today.
I think they're very eager to get back on the field. I think they have a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth after a loss to Cincinnati, but I think now they have a chance to put a positive note on that.
Memphis Tigers, the home team in this matchup, dressed up in the whites. Utah Valley, their third NCAA appearance in the blacks, and we are underway here in Greenville. Winner of this matchup takes on number 6 ranked Arkansas, who has only played 4 games this spring. Meanwhile, you have a Memphis program at 8-3 on the year. Very good record in the American at 6-1. And Utah Valley, 20 games played, including back-to-back conference games in a weekend. A difficult task for any program.
Definitely. Playing back-to-back games, you're hoping that your legs are ready to go after that because there's a lot of mileage that goes on those.
Utah Valley with a bevy of all-conference players, including 4 goal scorers with at least 5 goals. Very balanced offense. And here's an early chance. Wolverines get into the box. It is bobbled for the moment by Pickering, and her shot is deflected. Good look by Heather Stainbrook inside the 8.
Right after you said that, here they come.
Here's Chris LeMay, 2-time WAC conference champion. He's coached 11 all-conference performers in his tenure. Former associate head coach at Cal, moving across the country just a couple of time zones and leading this program to another tournament with a 12-win season. Good service into the back of the box. Brockbank sends that one high. Utah Valley comes in 60th in the country, just under 2 goals a game. But they do lead the WAC in terms of shots on target. Going to put a lot of chances on Memphis today.
Yes. And that's very crucial to get those shots on goal. Obviously, everyone sees shots, but the shots on goal are what's most important.
Memphis comes in with a disappointing loss to Cincinnati in the American semifinals. They were not sure if a tournament berth was coming for a program that won 17 games 2 years ago. Had a chance to make a deep run of the NCAA tournament, but came up short, and now a chance at redemption today.
Definitely won their senior class. This is their 3rd time in the NCAA tournament, and they're looking to get their win.
There's a look at Brooks Monaghan, his 21st year as a head coach, and certainly so much success in the American Athletic Conference here as of late. He's coached 8 All-Americans, and he's mentioned the task getting to this tournament, the relief his team had, and also the time off he gave his girls, about 7-8 days to rest up for this moment and prepare for the tournament.
Of course, those rest days are super crucial when you're coming in and traveling and coming in to play a team like Utah Valley. Obviously, they know this is going to be a test.
So much rest, in fact, he had to tell players to stay away from the program for a couple of days, which is the hardest thing in coaching.
There's no doubt about that. Obviously, kids are eager to get in the gym, get on the field, and sometimes you got to tell them, hey, rest is better.
Here's Heather Stainbrook to tee up this free kick. She has 4 assists on the year. Stainbrook's service. And a dangerous back post feed as that goes out of play. It's a big test for Elizabeth Moberg, the senior keeper at a Port St. Lucie. And already an early chance for the Wolverines.
Just slightly too far on the back post. She had kept it in a little bit more. Maybe that runner at the end might have gotten on the end of it.
Utah Valley loves to press, so they're going to put a lot of pressure on Memphis. Here come the Tigers with their captain, Tanya Boychuk, our player to watch coming in, feeding it ahead. And a little physicality. That's a foul on Memphis. Maya Jones, the sophomore.
You have to think this is going to be a very physical game. 2 teams that are very high intensity and want to get into a tussle.
Part of the reason Memphis made this NCAA tournament was an impressive non-conference slate, starting with wins in 6 of their first 7 and beating number 6 Vanderbilt at the time in non-conference play.
Definitely. Obviously, getting a win against Vanderbilt, especially in Nashville, is huge. Obviously, Vanderbilt is in this tournament and has a first-round bye, so it's definitely great for their RPI for Memphis to get that win.
Utah Valley will be tested on the back line after a 1-0 victory over Seattle to clinch the Western Athletic Conference Championship. Utah Valley up to number 29 in the country in the latest national polls. Although this year with 48 teams, it was sort of a question of how seedings would unfold. And as we'll see in this one, the winner of this matchup plays number 6 Arkansas.
Definitely. Usually in a regular year, we have 60 teams. There's an RPI. And this year, it's obviously very different, and it's not the usual.
Memphis over these last 3 years, 32-10 with 1 draw. They've been impressive. There's Boychuk into the attack again. That pass is easily corralled by a Utah Valley defense led by Grace Beeston, the freshman, who was the freshman of the year in the conference.
A lot of all-conference players on Utah Valley. Definitely a very strong team.
The Wolverines not only a high number of games played, they have won a lot of games as well getting up to this point. And how about this? Since April 1st, they've allowed just 1 goal in 5 matches. A pretty good defensive team as well.
Definitely. They have the all-WAC defensive player back there, and her partner is the all-WAC second teamer. So definitely a great back line.
Now the front line trying to cause some trouble for Memphis's defense. It's a good job by Haley Spray to knock that ball down. The freshman out of Allen, Texas. Spray plays it forward, looking for Pachurski. That is kept in play. A targeted, oh, nope, just out of play, in fact. So a goal kick for Utah Valley. We do see, however, the speed of Lisa Pachurski.
Definitely. If Lisa can get on the ball, it could be trouble. She definitely likes to go at players and is very dynamic.
Lisa, part of a pipeline from Ontario and also from the whole country of Canada for this Memphis program. Very international heavy.
You can definitely say it might be the Canadian national team at times.
And they're playing like it. Very successful at 8-3, 6-1 in this conference, the American Athletic Conference. Memphis, its final win of the regular season against East Carolina. And some familiarity playing here at Johnson Stadium as well every other year in conference play.
Definitely is a surface that they see every other year. So it's something that I'm sure that they're comfortable with coming in.
Really thankful to have Jordan Darling, one of the assistant coaches for East Carolina, with us today. I'm Evan Budrovich here in this first half. Utah Valley and Memphis, 2 programs that typically, with how the playoffs are seeded, would never meet based on geography. And yet here we are with a unique matchup of a WAC program and an American Athletic Conference program. Memphis, in fact, has only played 1 team from the WAC ever in program history, UMKC. And that was over a decade ago. Here's a dangerous ball in the corner. That's tipped out by Sydney Bushman, getting her first start. 16 starts this year, now a start in the NCAA tournament. Memphis trying to maintain possession inside the box. Murphy swings it back to Boychuk. Here's a dangerous ball to the box and just missed Maya Jones.
We're definitely seeing some early dangerous balls, but just can't get on the end of them. Unlucky enough, Jones right there can maybe get in a little bit earlier and get across the face of that defender and maybe get something on it to test the keeper.
That is something Chris LeMay said is so critical. Grace Beeston's ability to mark attacking players, and we saw it right there. Here's a chance now for Boychuk, just out of her reach. And playing it back to the keeper, Isabel Jones-Daw, part of the all-tournament team in the WAC. Had a 10-4 record, and I don't care how many games you play. Winning 10 games, allowing less than a goal per contest is impressive.
Definitely for the keeper position, it's crucial to get those wins under the belt, get confidence, get a good rhythm, and then after that, you're really in a good place.
And what's even scarier for Utah Valley, all 10 of her wins are shutout victories. When they play well, it starts on the defensive end.
Exactly. Definitely great team efforts, and once you have that and you have a team that's very confident in the back, then, like we all say, defense wins championships.
How about winning the first round matchup first? I want to get to the next round and see how Arkansas does against these teams, waiting eagerly at the hotel, seeing who they will play on Saturday at 4 o'clock. With Santa Clara, Arkansas, and Duke all waiting here in Greenville, getting ready for their next matchups.
So it makes this NCAA tournament so fun. Great matchups, a lot of competitive play. You never know what's going to happen.
Possession changing feet in the middle of the field here as Memphis maintains it. Tigers 5-0 at home this year, just 3-2 on the road. Get a critical win at Vanderbilt. Really punched their ticket with a quality non-conference win. There's a long ball by Caroline Duncan, playing it up to Pachurski. Down the left flank. Pachurski weaving in. Dangerous ball into the box. And it's cleared out by Utah Valley.
Great touch by Pachurski to get the ball going forward, get a service in, and then see what happens.
Good dispossession by the Wolverines. That's Nicole Orlando, the sophomore out of Hawaii. How can the Wolverines maintain possession on this end of the field? Here's a run for Anna Pickering, and it's cleared back to the keeper. And a foul that time. That's the hands of Boychuk creating some space.
Unlucky right there. It was going to be a good flick on, but you can't put two hands on somebody's back.
Tanya Boychuk, first team all-conference in the American Athletic Conference. She was a member of the Canadian Junior National Diving Team. Very athletic in the pool as well. We see her athleticism here on the field.
Definitely some of these players can be a jack of all trades.
Just over 10 minutes gone by. 2 combined shots on target between Utah Valley and Memphis. Their first ever meeting between these programs. The Tigers trying to shake some tough tournament history. Just 1-8 all time in the NCAAs. Their first win was 10 years ago against UT Martin. That was a 7-0 decision. And their last appearance, a very tight game, but a loss against Washington State, who went on to the College Cup.
Yes, that was a great Washington State team. So to only lose 1-0, it was a very competitive game. I know, obviously, you know, we're all frustrated when we lose, but when you lose to a team that goes to the Final Four, you just shake their hands and tell them congratulations.
Well, that sounds great as a coach, but is that truly the case, Jordan? Do you take the consolation prize in losing to, let's say, the champion or to one of the better teams versus just a regular loss?
Truthfully, we're all competitive, so we never want to lose. So I say that, but it's also very tough.
Puchersky with a dangerous look. And, man, the redshirt senior out of Toronto is ready to play.
See right here, good touch. Beats it to the inside. Just over the bar. But right now you can see Puchersky's getting on the ball, getting a good rhythm. They might want to start getting her on the ball a lot more.
5 goals for Puchersky in her career, including 3 this season. This Memphis team is not going to light the lamp offensively. Top scorers each with 3, but they have balance. 5 players with 3 goals. Memphis applying more pressure here in the midfield. It's a nice ball forward from Brianna Eves. And taken away. That's Caroline Duncan. You'll see both Duncan sisters today, Caroline and Grace. It's a good save by Memphis to keep it in and a chance to push into the attack again as a giveaway takes that back. Now both teams a little careless with the ball early in this first half.
Definitely a point in the game that where one team needs to settle the game down, and that team who settles it down will probably have a lot more of the chances.
And there's some clear contact and a foul on Utah Valley. Keep in mind this Memphis team is actually near the bottom of the country. They commit 12 fouls a game, and yet it's the Wolverines with their first of the afternoon. Because part of that's strategic, of course, right? As a coach, you do want to slow down teams' attack, and you have to commit a foul at the right time in the right spot. Right.
There's definitely strategic fouls. Obviously, if a team's going on a counter break and you don't have numbers behind, that's a good foul. You definitely don't want them to get something that that they didn't earn.
That ball bounces dangerously and sneaks out for a goal kick. The service play of Memphis has been fun to watch in this first half.
It has been. They're getting very close to getting on the end of these, and if they do, again, it could be a tough day for the keeper. She might get a lot of action here if they get on the end of these.
An all-WAC conference goalkeeper, Isabel Jones-Daw, transfer from Gonzaga, who's filled the shoes of not only a 2-year starter in front of her, but has stepped right in with freshmen incoming. 2 recruited freshmen for Chris LeMay set to enroll this fall at that position. He loves what Isabel's been able to do this season.
She's definitely somebody those younger goalkeepers can look to and definitely get a lot of information by soaking in everything that she does.
There's a fine line, of course, between learning from the savvy veteran and also taking the senior's job. It's a unique challenge in all college sports, especially this fall when you think of the lack of roster turnover and how these coaches like yourself have built huge freshman classes to come in.
Of course, everybody has to take advantage of their moment, right? So once that moment comes, they have to be prepared to be able to execute.
That's last touch by Puchersky, so a Utah Valley throw. Wolverines have won 5 of their last 6 matches, stormed through the Western Athletic Conference tournament, and defeated Seattle 1-0, 1-0 in the final. That game was 11 days ago, so plenty of time to prepare for this moment. Now Amber Tripp, the captain, number 13 in the black, centers at middle. There's Stainbrook with a high ball to the back line, and it's whiffed. It is a windy afternoon. You wonder how that plays a factor. As it would seem in this first half, Memphis has the wind at its back.
Definitely, and also the heat. Obviously, that factors in a lot as well. Making sure that these girls are hydrated and making sure that these subs come in and help them.
Bochurski's been busy in this first half. Gets past her defender. Centers it in. Utah Valley counting its blessings defensively in this first half. Now a chance to clear out for Brockbank. And the Wolverines take advantage of numbers. Gosh, it feels like the Wolverines are climbing up a mountain to get in front of this wind, and it's resulted in Memphis controlling possession.
Definitely. They're having their moments, but that one touch or two that's getting a little heavier, getting stuck to them, and then they lose possession. If they clean that up and get a little bit more possession and settle things down for themselves, then they'll start to get more momentum in this.
These programs have never met, and these conferences do not meet quite often. Memphis just its second game against a WAC opponent. Think of the likes of Grand Canyon, Utah Valley, and, of course, as of late, Seattle. Three programs that have excelled at this level out of the conference. The American Athletic, of course, you have South Florida with a huge win last night over Central Connecticut. Of course, programs like ECU are on the rise in the conference as well, and plenty of teams trying to make that next jump and maybe make this a 2-3 bid league consistently.
Of course, we'd love to be in this, be in the NCAA tournament, and that's our goal. So hopefully we can allow ourselves to, you know, be in the mix, and like you said, be a league that's a 3 or 4 team bid league.
Memphis, one of 19 non-automatic qualifiers, a huge step for this program after winning the conference recently. As here's a long ball, dangerous run up in front for Maya Jones. Into the box. Jones has an option, deflected away. Second chance cleared out by Jenna Shepard. Boychuk was ready to shoot, just could not find her feet.
Yes, Jones had a great idea. She saw Boychuk, and unfortunately the center back was right in a great place to be able to prevent it and clear it away.
Sarah LaMiller with the drive that time, and it's blocked out. Only one shot on target for Memphis, but so many chances in this first half. Memphis hanging on to possession here in a dangerous part of the field. And the Tigers get a shot on with Claire Avery. There's Jones in the corner. Has some speed. Jones, perfect ball in. Deflection off the post. And the crossbar keeps it scoreless.
Looks like it's only going to be a matter of time. These two outside forwards are getting after it right now and giving Utah Valley fits.
Lisa Bochurski wanted her 4th goal of the season right here.
Great job getting around the outside back, getting to the end line, getting service to the back post. So close at the end, so close. Just a little bit more under the bar, and you'll have your first goal.
So for Nicole Olanda, that backside defender who comes up a lot in the midfield, how challenging is that to mark a dangerous Bochurski?
Very dangerous. Obviously, you have to be mindful of where she's at all times. You have to be aware. If you're not aware, then she can sneak up on you, and like we just saw, be on the end of crosses.
Utah Valley loves to bring those two outside defenders forward to create action offensively, and now they have to sink back in after another giveaway. A lot of dribbling here for Utah Valley, and it results in a giveaway. Memphis with Claire Avery, the junior midfielder from Saskatchewan, finding her niche in the corner. Trying to find Bochurski, who heads it on target. Lisa Bochurski having herself a very productive first half.
They're getting on the end of these, but they got to make sure that they get on frame.
Memphis trying to jump in front here in this first half. Tigers program that lost an American Athletic Conference semifinal 1-0 and was not sure if their season was over right at that moment. But luck was on their side. A good RPI backed them up, and now in as an at-large team. It's interesting just looking at the numbers. Boychuk hasn't scored since March 21st against Temple, and she's been a heavy piece of the offense today.
She definitely is. I know during their last slate of games, she was very dangerous, but just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. So I'm sure she's eager to get out of that slump, to get something out of this.
Boychuk, one of the 3 seniors honored at the end of the season in a game you know very well against East Carolina to close out the year.
Definitely was. It was a tough game, 1-0 game back and forth, but at the end of the day, they got the better of us, but a very good team. Obviously, you tip their hat to them.
There's Heather Stainbrook playing it forward to Boychuk. Who's the Energizer Bunny, the spark plug of this team, a central midfielder who can do so much for this unit. There's the press of Utah Valley. Does create some openings in the middle. Avery swings it out, and that's deflected.
Great speed of player back there by Memphis to break that pressure. Right there, you might ask Avery maybe to take a couple more touches and play a simpler ball to feet, and then go from there.
This Utah Valley defense led by Jenna Shepard with 20 starts on the back line. Now a giveaway. Can Samantha Murphy make some damage happen? There's Boychuk one-on-one with Eves. Sends it out to a sprinting Grace Storty, the freshman defender. And that's last touched by Grace Beeston of Utah Valley.
If she can get involved, Grace Storty, then it could be a long day for these outside forwards for Utah Valley. Obviously, the Rookie of the Year for the AAC, very athletic player.
Here's a turn towards target, and a shot wide and long. An ambitious strike from Sarah LaMiller. And I wonder in a game like this, is that something you encourage as a coach, given how difficult it is to get inside the box, to let some of your attacking players fire?
Yes, I think if they're within range and you have confidence in it, then why not? But obviously, the most important thing is to get them on frame. And if you keep taking shots that don't get on frame, then you might look to do other things rather than just taking shots from that range.
This Memphis program, 26th in the country in shots. That was second in the American Athletic Conference. Still trying to find that clean look on target. Boychuk hit the post earlier today. And as we said, over 20 minutes in, this game remains scoreless. Here's Sydney Bushman getting the start on defense, the sophomore from American Fork, Utah. Here's Memphis sitting a couple forwards high, making possession difficult for the Wolverines. Brockbank is dispossessed, and a good sliding tackle defensively, that time by Memphis' Caroline Duncan.
Very good sequence right there for Utah Valley. That's what you look to do. Combination, keep the ball, keep everything flowing. Now let's see if they can add on to that and keep this momentum going.
Long throw towards the box. Brockbank wanted a handball. And wow, how about this?
Be interesting to see this replay.
Ooh.
Very tough, very tough. Hands not really in natural position, having it up like that. I would have to maybe agree with that call.
So a penalty kick for Utah Valley, a chance to strike first. What a moment for Heather Stainbrook, the sophomore out of South Jordan, Utah, taking on Elizabeth Moberg, the keeper with 6 shutouts on the year. Stainbrook fires and is stopped by Moberg.
Great save by the keeper. Great save, getting something, keeping it out. And now let's see if they can clear it fully to make sure they take away from this pressure.
First penalty kick Moberg has faced all year, and she comes up in the clutchest moment with a save.
It's big time, big time. As a keeper, to get that penalty save is only just going to add on to your confidence.
So Memphis with a critical defensive stop here in the 23rd minute. How can the Wolverines build on that momentum after drawing the handball in the box? because a penalty kick is both deflating and inspiring for a team. I'll be curious to see how Utah Valley responds.
Definitely. It would have been interesting to see if she made it. Obviously, she missed it, and momentum can now swing either way. Obviously, it's a big time save by the keeper and could give Memphis a lot of extra will right now to get one for the keeper.
Memphis has dominated possession in the shot totals. Yeah, Utah Valley had the best look of the day on a penalty kick. Stainbrook was denied. Now on the field of play, it's Brockbank. Gets past her defender, turns for goal and is deflected. Utah Valley able to keep possession on a beautiful touch by Juliana Carter, who serves it into the box. Dangerous second chance, deflected out. Memphis locked in defensively.
Bodies flying around, everybody sacrificing. Now we have a little bit of a back and forth game.
Boychuk wants to create space. Nice pass ahead. Boychuk behind her back. Here's Jones into the box, but no one there for Memphis. Wow, the pace of play has been excellent. How have these teams been able to keep it so wide open and flowing?
It's very interesting because obviously, like we just spoke about, that could have been deflating for Utah Valley to miss that penalty. But now they keep the pressure on. Memphis comes back with a counter. This should make for an interesting last 20 minutes.
Both these head coaches, so much to discuss. 12 combined NCAA tournament appearances between Utah Valley and Memphis in program history. They are experienced in these moments. We're seeing two teams that are battle tested. As we have a substitution coming in for Utah Valley. That's Grace Beeston taking a quick breather in this first half. And Megan Sullivan, the junior defender out of Santa Rosa, California, gets her first minutes along with Nicole Ray, the freshman out of Alpine, Utah. It's a dangerous ball forward and quickly cleared out. Memphis with space. Here's Stella Downing, number 4 in the white, getting her first minutes. Downing sprints ahead and a triple team on her. Now, Utah Valley knows the scouting report. They do not want Downing to run free.
As you can see, you're dribbling and dribbling. Everything closed in very quickly. Great job by the Utah Valley defense to not allow her to have time and space.
Downing keeps possession. And in perfect position, Amber Tripp, the captain, able to knock that away.
Just missing that final pass. If they can get that, then maybe we can see one go on net or one go through the net before half.
Instead, we are scoreless. Memphis has hit the post once today. Utah Valley have missed penalty kick in this first half. Now a scintillating ball into the box that's just wide off the foot of Haley Spray.
A lot of opportunities here for Memphis. A lot of services getting in. Like we talked about before, you just got to get on the end of it.
Utah Valley has pitched 10 shutouts of their 20 contests. They can play good defense, but it's been tested here in the first 30 minutes so far, and even some more to go with 18 left.
Definitely has. Both these teams have been gritty of not allowing goals.
Sarah LaMiller with a long ball up ahead to Jones. That's going to take a lot of speed, and she has it. Jones gets past her defender. Backside service is headed out. Good work by Brandon DeWall defensively. Now Boychuk. There's DeWall again, who has been critical. Literally DeWall back on the back line. I'll leave the puns to a minimum in the second half. I do apologize.
A very good one at that.
Along with Jordan Darling, I'm Evan Budrovich here for the first round of the NCAA Soccer Championships. Winner of this game takes on number 6 Arkansas, who went 11-3 on the year. That match will be Saturday at 4 o'clock right here in Greenville. Another long ball that gets over the head of Olanda, but the offside flag is up by the far side referee.
Great ball there, just unlucky timing by the outside forward Jones. Maybe if she holds that run a little bit more, she can get in on the end of that. And as you can see, Jones and Boychuk have switched sides, so maybe the Memphis staff sees something with the matchups with the outside backs.
Our head referee, Mark Kadislik, holding us up for just a second. Going to reposition that ball maybe a foot or two, which to me is a little, it kind of slows down the pace of play. I think within a few feet should be quite fine.
Correct. You got to make sure they stay within the rules.
Very good coach speak of you, Jordan. Want to make sure you're in good situations with referees to come. Jordan Darling, an assistant coach at East Carolina. We appreciate him and his entire staff's time this weekend. So 16 minutes left in this first half. A Memphis team that won 17 games 2 years ago and felt like they got robbed against Washington State in the first round of the tournament. They want redemption. And this is about as good of opportunity as any, taking on Utah Valley, the champions not only of the WAC, but one of the best teams on the West Coast with 12 wins this year. There's a promising run for Grace Storty out of the back line. It's deflected by DeWall again. Tripp gets it right back, sends it forward. And it's a Wolverines throwing.
I think after you said that punch, he's become a wall.
Excellent defender. The senior who spent a year off this past year in Romania on a church mission in 2019 into early 2020. Very involved in her faith, and the extracurriculars oh so important for these student athletes.
Of course, that's definitely a great experience, and some experiences that student athletes don't always get. So to be able to go out and do that is amazing. I'm sure she loved her experience and is going to be able to tell that for years to come.
DeWall came back and was named all-conference in the WAC, along with being a preseason all-conference player. So it comes full circle. Memphis has had the ball on this side of the field a bunch in the first half. How can they capitalize? And instead, an early turnover, that time by Caroline Duncan.
I think the theme for both teams now has just been execution. Execution, whether it's the pass, the touch, the finish, is just the execution piece. And I think both coaches will be looking for more of that.
Quick throw in by Heather Stainbrook, who missed the penalty kick in the 23rd minute. Excellent save by Elizabeth Moberg. Kept this game even. Carter, no option that time. And a good job knocking that ball down by Stella Downing. Downing with the dipsy-do dribble. Now weaves past another and sends it outside. Here's the speed of Peczurski. Peczurski lets it fly. And that ball was not touched. Goal kick for Utah Valley.
A little bit too wide there.
This will be a big challenge for Isabel Jones-Daw, who in 18 starts has a season-high 9 saves. She's been tested in this first half. And sends a missile past midfield. Even in the face of the wind, that's a mighty boot for the Wolverines goalkeeper.
Very good trait to have, to be able to hit a ball that far for a goalkeeper to get out of pressure.
Peczurski, a little demon on that far side. Trying to dribble past DeWall, who is having none of it today.
Another great one.
No, she really has played an excellent game on that back line. And Brianna, who drew the final PK to help Utah Valley beat Seattle in the final. She picked up a critical foul. They had a penalty kick in regulation. It's been a starter all year on defense and showing you why today.
She's definitely giving Peczurski fits now, because Peczurski was having her way, but now they can see her movement, see different things, and pick up on different nuances. So,
and how about the adjustment by both teams? Because Peczurski was a left winger early in the first half. She moved to the right side to expose Grace Beeston. And then Utah Valley coach LeMay makes a substitution, and it's perfectly matched.
Definitely. It's always a chess match in these types of situations. If one coach makes one move, then you're looking for the other coach to counter that, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Memphis with yet another change. Stella Downing moves to the outside, and then comes Laura Kazanjian. You see her number 10 right there, funneling that ball outside. She'll play more of a midfield, center midfield role. Memphis only 2 shots on target. It feels a lot more in this first half. Plenty of chances. Here come the Wolverines with numbers. And that space is cleared out quickly on a slide tackle by Sarah LaMiller.
Even after that tackle, DeWall's starting to now have an impact on this game defensively and offensively.
Keep an eye on number 6 sprinting forward. That service stays onside. This is Nicole Ray centering it in. A chance here for Tripp, who hits the target. Moberg is right there.
Nice strike right there, but a nice save to be there by Moberg.
2 critical saves for Moberg.
A great ball played in, getting on the end of it. And even before that, it was a great clipped-in ball by DeWall to get to that outside forward for them to play in that cross.
That's the 3rd shot on goal for Utah Valley. Team that comes in averaging just under 2 goals a contest, 60th in the country. Here's a critical run. Avery sends it ahead, and Mr. Target in Downing.
Great run by Avery, but you might ask her to take a little bit of weight off that pass to Stella Downing, and maybe she gets on the end of it and cuts inside and gets something on frame.
Utah Valley making a substitution. Here comes Cassidy McCormick, the senior midfielder, into the game, midfield defender for Utah Valley. She's important with 4 goals, 4 assists, a critical piece that we mentioned in the pregame.
Of course, definitely somebody in these last 10 minutes could be a big part for Utah Valley going into half on a good note.
Utah Valley's had over 22 players check in this year. So much depth, and in a 20-game season, they will need it as they gear up for the NCAA tournament today.
Of course, that depth is so crucial in this time of year to be able to have a lot of bodies and players that can come in and impact the game at any moment.
A little bit of contact in midfield, the foul on Memphis. Boychuk there to help out her counterpart in Jenna Shepard. Tanya Boychuk, it feels like 4 years ago now, was Rookie of the Year in the American Athletic Conference. And here's a little bit of that contact.
Just getting there a little late. That's a good touch by Jenna just to go forward. And again, Boychuk comes in there a little late to take her out.
One of the 12 fouls per game Memphis commits. That was all in fair play. But it's Utah Valley with good position deep on this end as they give it away. Now Pachursky. Here's DeWall on her. Back out to Kazanjan, who sends it long, and that's a bit ill-advised. Ooh, a late decision here by the keeper to come out.
It's a little risky there, but good job by Utah Valley to get numbers behind the ball, because it definitely was an opportunity by Memphis to counter, but they did a great job defensively.
And Jenna Shepard's looking at her teammates saying, I need some help here, as that defender trying to shield off the attacking play.
Of course. Right there, you don't want to leave it a chance.
Risky business late in this first half. Memphis has controlled possession. Utah Valley has had more of the quality chances. Here's some wide open space for Kazanjan. She can let it fly from distance, and a pretty easy stop for Jones-Daw, who rifles a bullet out to the far sideline there for Nicole Ray.
You can see right now Memphis is getting a lot of opportunities, but shots outside of distance. So maybe Coach Monaghan might tell them at half to maybe we want to get a little bit further in before taking those shots.
Tanya Boychuk and Maya Jones, part of the first team all-conference for Memphis, along with Kimberly Smith on the defensive side. This Memphis team had such a great month of March. A slower end of the season, losses in 2 of 3, but finding their way into the tournament at 8-3 overall.
Definitely, once you make it into the tournament, everybody has a clean slate, 0-0.
Once you print off that PDF bracket online, it is all clean.
That's exactly right.
One thing I do know, the winner of this game will take on Arkansas this Saturday, the number 6 team in the country. In a part of the bracket that does have some heavy hitters. North Carolina, of course, on that left side of the bracket, Santa Clara, and also UCLA in the top quadrant.
Not easy at all. You're talking about some very high-level teams. So everybody's going to have their hands full on this side.
Sort of like the west of the Mississippi, feel to the top right region of the bracket. Utah Valley would love to join the parties, the champions of the WAC. Good slide tackle from Utah Valley to dispossess. Playing it forward to London Miller. Miller has 4 goals on the year, one of 7 players with at least 4 goals. A really balanced attack for Utah Valley.
Averaging close to 2 goals per game. They're getting a lot of contributions from a lot of players.
Brianna Eve sends it forward to Miller. The freshman is hung on from dear life by Avery behind her. And a foul call. That's Memphis reaching. Grace Duncan, the younger sister, the redshirt sophomore, getting in on Caroline Duncan. Those two sisters grew up right in Memphis, Tennessee at White Station High School. Now it's Utah Valley trying to take advantage of the foul here. Stainbrook has been the key taker of these free kicks. Dangerous shot on target and off the top of the goal.
Nice strike there, but you'd like to see it a little bit more on frame. Again, try to get a little bit lower under that top bar. Well struck ball again, a little bit too high, a little bit too high. Maybe you want to try to get that again lower. Test Moberg, see what happens.
Elizabeth Moberg, a .81 goals against average, including 33 shutouts in her career. Just a prolific contributor between the pipes for Memphis. Now Utah Valley with a transition opportunity. Missing Miller on target. And there's Moberg coming out between her position from Port St. Lucie, Florida. I love the highlighter jerseys, by the way, for the goalkeepers.
They definitely stick out. Goalkeepers are definitely a different breed from everyone else.
Well, they call them human erasers between the posts. And between the highlighter pink and the highlighter yellow we have today, it's a color clash for sure.
It definitely is. You always are interested to see what goalkeeper jerseys are brought out each game.
These two goalkeepers have pitched shutouts, 5 combined shots on target, including Elizabeth Moberg with a PK save back in the 23rd minute. There's a long ball by Shepard. And a foul that time on Utah Valley. You see the disbelief from Amber Tripp, the captain, the redshirt senior from Draper, Utah. She's one of 20 players from the homegrown state. And offside. It's about 4 or 5 times now we've seen Memphis just a bit in front of those passes.
Just a little bit more discipline there. Memphis has done a great job in the midfield, connecting and then getting it from inside back to outside. But those outside forwards, maybe just a little bit more discipline of making sure they don't get past that line of defenders.
There's a good clearance by Jones-Daw. Finds Miller, who misses. But instead, it goes ahead anyway. Lily Haskins off the bench. Open with space. And a late foul is called.
That's very tough there. I don't know. We might have to see that again.
That right arm maybe of Haskins.
A little bit. That's a tough one there. They're both battling for position, but a great ball by Cassidy McCormick. A great ball to flick on, and then she had her forward running onto that, and then again, tough call at the end. Both of them were battling.
Part of a sister duo, Lily and Katie Haskins, part of this program. Neat to have each team with a set of sisters. We mentioned the Duncan sisters earlier, the Haskins part of the Utah Valley program as well.
Seems to be a theme at some programs. I can tell you at Memphis, they've had twins before with the Lever-Seward twins.
Who's going to break this sibling rivalry in the first half? 2 minutes to go. Both teams with some quality chances.
This definitely is a crucial point in the game. You want to definitely leave and get into half on a good note. You don't want to get out of sorts. You want to be organized. Want to make sure everything stays solid to end the half.
Memphis inching closer with another throw-in. Tigers' 3rd straight NCAA tournament appearance and a huge streak of wins. 32 victories in 3 years. Have faced some buzzsaws in Wisconsin and Washington State the last 2 years, but an open field on this side of the bracket. Now a header forward by Bushman and a smart play to her keeper.
Good decision to make sure that ball gets back to the keeper by putting her head on it.
Sydney Bushman, a sophomore, but truly her first real season on the field. You think back to the COVID year last season, getting a lot of minutes in this critical moment.
Definitely. Like we said before, Bushman and the Shepherd partnership has been very good for the Utah Valley Wolverines this year. Obviously, Shepherd has won MAC All Defensive Player of the Year, and Bushman got All WAC Conference second team, so definitely a partnership for the future.
Bushman, the transfer from Snow College in 2019, making an immediate impact for Utah Valley. Final minute of this first half. Memphis had all the chances early, then Utah Valley was denied on a penalty kick. Since then, possession has changed hands in this closing minutes of the first half. It's our head referee, Mark Catalyst. We'll keep everybody in line on the throw-in.
Got to keep everybody in order for the last minute of the game.
Here's a high ball for London Miller, who heads it into empty space. Here's DeWall streaking in. And can the Wolverines capitalize? Oh, no, they can't. Thanks to the defense of Memphis and Caroline Duncan. Now Memphis in the closing seconds. A chance before the buzzer. Long shot on target is just over the post from Kazanjian.
Unlucky. Almost had one there right before the buzzer.
Halftime here in Greenville. Kazanjian trying her best to get Memphis on the board. Instead, just a bit high. And we are scoreless here at the break. Plenty of highlights to come as these two clubs searching for an opening goal in Greenville. Memphis and Utah Valley scoreless here on ESPN 3.
The NCAA thanks our corporate champions, AT&T, Capital One, and Coca-Cola, and our corporate partners, Aflac, Buffalo Wild Wings, Buick, Geico, Great Clips, Invesco, Lowe's, Marriott, Nabisco, Nissan, Pizza Hut, Reese's, Uber Eats, Unilever, and Wendy's. Their support enhances NCAA championships and the educational and athletic experiences of nearly 500,000 NCAA student athletes. As a reminder, masks are required at all times inside Johnson Stadium, except when actively eating or drinking in your assigned seat location. Masks should be worn properly, covering your nose and mouth. Your cooperation is greatly appreciated. Fans, some merchandise is not available at today's event. For great championship gear and memorabilia, shop online at event1teamstore.com. Did you know more than 50,000 student athletes compete in NCAA championships at more than 800 sites across the country each year? Don't miss out on witnessing the next great moment in sports history. Find a championship near you by visiting ncaa.gov/tickets. The NCAA would like to thank official equipment supplier Wilson for their support of NCAA championships. Their contributions help enhance the educational and athletic experiences of nearly 500,000 NCAA student athletes. NCAA Championships celebrates the Student Athlete Advisory Committee's United as One campaign. Student athlete representatives from Division 1, 2, and 3 stood together and took action by collaborating to create a logo and national unity pledge centered on bringing people together to better their families, communities, and beyond. This initiative captures the student athlete's perspective on the challenges the country continues to face and provides a platform for NCAA student athletes to talk about the importance of diversity, inclusion, and social justice and how to use their voice to foster inclusive environments in athletics on their campuses and in society. NCAA encourages student coaches, and administrators have used this campaign to encourage conversation and progress for change. United as One. Visit ncaa.org/United as One to learn more.
Halftime here in Greenville, North Carolina. Utah Valley and Memphis all scoreless. Both teams had plenty of opportunities in the first half. And alongside Jordan Darling, I'm Evan Budrovich breaking down what we saw in the first 45 minutes. And so far, Jordan, in this matchup, both teams have had a high number of shots on target, including a penalty kick for Utah Valley, but nothing to show for it thanks to some impressive plays by the keepers.
Right. At the start of the game, we saw Utah Valley get off to a great start with their momentum, but then you saw Memphis settle the game down, and then they got their opportunity. So we saw a little bit of back and forth. You can probably say that Brooks Monaghan would like to have his outside forwards get more opportunities and feed them a little bit more, because we've seen there's been great stuff that's been happening from both of them with Boychuk and Jones. And then Chris LeMay. I thought when London Miller came in, she did a great job of holding the ball up, connecting, and then Cassidy McCormick provided a spark at the end as well. So he might want to see and go in a half and say, how can we get those first 10 minutes for the first 15 to 20 in the second half?
These teams very low scoring in this matchup, but a lot of chances, and you wonder who's going to break first, trying to face Arkansas in the next round. Right now, they're scoreless through 45 minutes. We'll have the next half after this break here in the first round of the NCAA championships. Couple of goose eggs here at halftime as both offenses some quality chances between Utah Valley and Memphis. And here's your first half highlights. Plenty of chances for both these squads early on, and it really started with some aggressive midfield play setting up good opportunities.
Definitely. Just a couple balls, couple crosses that weren't able to get on the end, as we see here. Lisa Pachersky, so close, so close. Great to get a ball in the danger area, but can't get on the end of it.
Here's Pachersky with an absolute rocket that just misses north of the post.
Seems to be the common theme for both teams. Balls are just going right over that bar.
Another quality cross into the box, and that one hits the post from Pachersky, who was denied of maybe 2 or 3 goals today by the Iron. Instead, it remains scoreless, and Utah Valley here drawing a handball in the box for a penalty kick.
Center back, you got to make sure that those arms stay down. That's an easy call for the referee.
That handball by Memphis leads to a stop as Heather Stainbrook unable to convert. Here's Elizabeth Moberg.
Great save. As you can see, she saw it from the beginning, took the chance. Again, that's a 50-50 chance, and she made the right decision.
Utah Valley had 4 shots on target. There were a couple of them early. And how about this shot just over the top of the post? You're right, Jordan. The theme of this day is a couple inches high and a few feet wide. But here at halftime, it's still scoreless. When we return, we'll get you all set for the second half. Who is going to move on to take on Arkansas? We'll find out next. Welcome back to Johnson Stadium here in Greenville, North Carolina. A battle of the goalkeepers today, shutting down both offenses in the first 45 minutes. And we will get started with Isabel Jones-Daw, who has 10 wins on the season, putting up a nice effort between the posts today.
And as we talked about here with Boychuk doing a great job, Jones-Daw does a great job here. So we can't forget the goalkeeping. Does a great job of coming out, because if she doesn't, then Memphis has a better chance of making that a goal.
Trying to deflect every shot she can, make life difficult for the Tigers. Coming averaging a goal and a half per game. Some critical chances here as Utah Valley's held serve. And Isabel Jones-Daw, her 19th start, has 10 shutouts on the year. How does she keep it up and make it 11?
She's got to keep doing the same thing she's been doing. Obviously, the shots have not been on frame, but she's been putting herself in great positions, and that's all you can ask from your keepers, is put yourself in a great position and give yourself a chance to make the save.
Redshirt senior battles Elizabeth Moberg, a fellow senior who has a PK stop today. This was a beauty, and she's been busy in the net as well.
Big time PK stop. That gives you a lot of momentum and a lot of confidence as a keeper, and that's so crucial, especially when you get in deep waters of this game.
Elizabeth Moberg, 6 shutouts herself. Both these keepers have been prolific on the season. And now for Moberg, getting ready for half number 2. She has done a bulk of the work between the posts for Memphis, played every minute this year, only 9 goals allowed in what is now 12 matches.
Both these goalkeepers have been the backbone of their team. They've been doing great, so goalkeeping skills galore today.
Team Canada for Memphis, 13 Canadians taking on Team Upstart Utah Valley, 20 homegrown products out of the state of Utah. These teams do not face very often, both conferences, and I've liked the style of play, and I've also enjoyed watching these teams get up and try to both score goals as well and really be more aggressive offensively.
It's definitely been great, like we said, back and forth. Obviously, Memphis has settled the game down in moments that have more possession. And then Utah Valley, they played a little bit more direct to getting the ball up into the attacking third quick and obviously making runs off it and getting chances from it.
You see Sydney Bushman coaching up her goalkeeper, Isabel Jones-Daw. This Utah Valley team, 12 wins this year, the 3rd ever NCAA tournament appearance, and back home in Orem, Utah. There's a huge watch party on campus. Jared Sumsey, the athletic director, has an entire group all together watching it in an athletic building on campus. And what a moment for Utah Valley, ranked 29th in the country coming into today. Wouldn't necessarily call this a upset, if you will, because of how good these teams have been. Very evenly matched first round, and that's resulted in a very competitive first game.
Of course, definitely. Obviously, these teams match up very well as far as giving each other a tough game, tough matchup. Again, this chess match is going to go into the second half, and what's going to be important is this first 15 minutes.
Memphis this year has dominated in terms of shots, 25th in the country in shots. It's a battle of the keepers, Isabel Jones-Daw and Elizabeth Moberg. They've combined for 17 shutouts on the year, and they've pitched good efforts in a couple of different ways here in the first half. As we begin the second half of play, winner to take on Arkansas, the 6th-ranked team in the country. Maya Jones, the midfielder of the year in the American Athletic Conference, goes right to work, getting past the defender and drawing an early shot on goal.
Starting out on a strong note. Again, this is crucial. You want to start on the front foot in the first 10 minutes, and obviously we've seen a little change here. Tanya Boychuk is starting as a number 9 forward for them, and Samantha Murphy has moved into the midfield, so something that Coach Monaghan has seen and changed.
All complimenting Lisa Pachursky, who led every player with 3 shots and a couple of balls off the post in that first half. Now the wind shifting in favor of the Tigers here in half number 2. Pachursky trying to keep this ball in, and that will go out for a goal kick.
Just a little bit of a heavy touch there.
Has to be tough if you're Utah Valley. You were kicking into the wind in the first half, and now you do the exact same in the second. The winds have swirled here in Greenville.
Doesn't look like the wind wants to work out for them.
Here comes Utah Valley trying to build on 12 wins in the regular season, including a conference tournament title over Seattle, their arch rivals in the WAC. And here's a turnover and a chance for the Wolverines. That through ball is forward for Carter. Juliana sends it outside. Brockbank backed in the corner by Storty, resulting in a goal kick.
Great diagonal run there by Julia Carter to get across the back line. Great ball. Just want to see if you can maybe keep it there and maybe get something more out of it.
Memphis pushing forward. This is a club that finished 8-3 on the year. And more importantly, got in as a at-large participant. Not something you see every day in the American Athletic Conference. A senior class of Paczerski, Murphy, Laracy, so many others. 54 combined wins. And without the services of Clarissa Laracy today, a different formation that's played very well without her.
Definitely. Obviously, those are the big shoes to fill, and I know that's going to be a collective job. And right now, they've been doing a great job. Obviously, now we're going to get to see Boychuk as a center forward and see what she does.
Boychuk getting more minutes. Maya Jones has been pushed forward, and of course, Paczerski has added to her shot making today. Well, here's a risky ball intercepted by Utah Valley. Wolverines poking it forward. This is Brockbank. Sydney crawling for space and nothing called. Mark Cattleslick letting them play.
Crucial right there for Duncan to get in that tackle. If she doesn't get that tackle, there's a runner for Utah Valley going straight to goal.
Stainbrook sends it forward. Great dispossession. Memphis is locked in defensively, conceding the corner.
Once again, we're having a little bit of back and forth here, so it's making for an enticing start to the second half.
That's Caroline Duncan, the junior defender. Remember, Duncan's hand got involved in the first half, resulting in a penalty kick that Memphis was able to stop. Now it's a corner kick for Amber Tripp, the captain. Has a 3.7 GPA in family science, part of the all-academic team in the WAC. We have a stoppage of play here for the moment. Looks like Anna Pickering is getting checked on real quick.
Maybe a little knock there.
Pickering looks to be fine in the box, so a corner kick coming. This is deflected. And now Memphis a chance to break it open. Could not find Paczerski, and it goes right back to Utah Valley.
Great job by Paczerski, though, defensively, forcing the ball further away from the 18, because when you only have one out there against their two, that can be a difficult job.
Chris LeMay has the luxury of 6 different players with at least 4 goals. Brockbank, Stainbrook, and London Miller, all with 5. Now who's going to step up and provide a quality shot on target in this second half as this through ball is sent deep, searching for Carter. Memphis back defensively, but a turnover. Now a through ball across from Crow. And the goalkeeper well outside the 18. Moberg with a risky pass that's tipped. She has to play it with her feet this far away and sends it long. Oh, the goal's open. Let this ball fly for midfield. There's the thought. The header is missed by Utah Valley, and Memphis takes a big, deep breath.
Very risky there. I'm sure that will put a gray hair on Coach Monaghan and Coach Walker's head.
Coach Monaghan loves wearing his hunting caps. He's got a big deer manta to the back of his wall. He loves nature in the woods, and he is going to be tested deep into the forest tonight trying to get out of this first-round matchup.
There's no doubt the Wolverines are coming on strong here, so they definitely have to get out of this pressure here, because now the momentum is starting to shift again.
2 of the fiercest mascots in college sports, the Wolverines and the Tigers. This kind of has a prehistoric battle to it. 2 clubs that aren't traditional powers in college soccer, and they've played very well over the last 3 years. Utah Valley chipping it ahead, trying to find Juliana Carter. But Caroline Duncan has been busy on the back line.
Good pressure and organization by the Utah Valley defense. They're just waiting for that one mistake, not rushing in, and then picking the ball off and going forward.
Caroline and Grace Duncan, 2 twins that both have played huge minutes, Caroline included, 2-time Defensive Player of the Week in the American Athletic Conference. Here's Duncan with her hands behind the back. That's off her foot, and a corner conceded on the entry pass from Brockbank.
Something I think Duncan has learned from. You don't want to have those hands all the way out there wide and make it easy on the referee. So good defending right there.
Utah Valley trying to convert on this corner kick. They're 9th in the country in total points, 109 in 20 matches. This ball is in short. That's headed away by Murphy. Memphis with numbers if they want it. And a nice deflection by Stainbrook.
Maybe a little bit too much there by Pechersky. Maybe look to play it sooner and get out on the break.
Amber Tripp settles it down. Good dispossession and a foul drawn as Tanya Boychuk is right involved. We haven't said Boychuk's name as much in this second half after a nice first half.
She's starting to get a little bit more involved, maybe starting to be that hold-up center forward for Memphis and link up play and then go from there. Hearing a lot of passion from the fans today.
Long road to travel from Memphis, Tennessee and Orem, Utah to watch these teams play, but it has been well worth it here in the first round. This is Caroline Duncan, the service. That's got a chance for goal. A back tap into the box and a foul on Memphis. And now the keeper wants to clear it out with Isabel Jones-Daw. These goalkeepers have been busy. Isabel right there has 10 shutouts on the year. And for Memphis, Elizabeth Moberg, 6 shutouts herself and has stopped a penalty kick tonight.
I think we're going to see a lot more action as well, so I hope these goalkeepers aren't content to where they're at right now.
Risky bicycle kick that plops over by Brockbank. And there's plenty of body contact. A foul here on Utah Valley. Quick start for Memphis. Ooh, look at the speed of Amber Tripp coming in. Now it's Miller. Miller sends it to the near side. Maya Jones trying to get past her defender, and Utah Valley sniffed that out.
Great defending by DeWall there.
Brianna DeWall has been excellent tonight, especially guarding Pechersky, who has switched sides of the field again to the left side.
Going back and forth. I guess they're trying to keep us on our toes.
Now she tries to pick on Nicole Olanda, that right back defender. Plenty of space here for Kimberly Smith, the all-conference defender. Named first team in the American Athletic Conference. Smith dribbles into space. And Boychuk is fouled. It's a good position here for a free kick.
Definitely. Better composure there by Kimberly Smith. Not forcing anything in and then taking what they give her.
Smith out of the Netherlands. We mentioned all the Canadians on this roster. An international product with a nice pass.
Good by Boychuk to stick her foot in there and get to the ball first and then force the foul.
Foul on Jenna Shepard, the all-conference defender out of the WAC for Utah Valley. What a moment for the Tigers, who've been knocking on the door in half number one. Now Kimberly Smith, the junior, to serve this ball in. Smith goes for goal and misses high.
Getting a little bit too much on some of these shots we're seeing. Maybe take a little bit off or just make sure that it gets on target. Little bit too much pepper on that one.
Just 2 shots on goal for Memphis. And to your point, probably the 4th or 5th time we've seen shots that have elevated over the post and are really easy to stop for Jones-Daw.
A little bit more decisiveness with these services. You want to make sure that you're either putting them in and getting it into the danger area for your teammates to get on the end of them, or you're just getting a shot and making sure it gets on frame.
Good slide tackle by Abry. Here's DeWall, beautiful touch. Another one. And the dribbling display comes to an end as Memphis the last to touch it.
DeWall's starting to come on, being an impact player here for Utah Valley.
Brianna DeWall, she was invited to the U19 women's national team tryouts a couple of summers ago and has been critical on defense today. There's some tussling in the middle. There's a foul on Sadie Brockbank. Slow to get up there is Kimberly Smith as we see the scuffle in the middle on Duncan.
A nice little battle there. Again, a little bit too much towards the end. As we can see, the ref starting to get a little bit more involved here in the second half. But, again, you love to see the physicality. Love to see the players wear it on their sleeve.
Mark Cattleslick wants to keep this a clean game in the second half with both teams eager to score. And here's another whistle. A card might be coming on Utah Valley. And there is the yellow card. Sadie Brockbank is called. It won't matter right away. Cards do accumulate in this NCAA tournament, so something to keep in mind if Utah Valley were to advance.
And she's also going to have to be mindful about it. We still have about 34 minutes left in the second half, so she's going to have to be aware that she can't be as physical at times.
So London Miller checks back in for Utah Valley. Big-time goal scorer. She has 5 on the year. Here's Memphis in space. Great deflection, kind of unintended there by Olanda, and it's Wolverine ball. Wolverines unbeaten in 6 straight matches, led by Amber Tripp, the Offensive Player of the Year in the WAC. She had 8 goals in 2019, 5 more this year. Keep an eye on number 13 in the black. This header sneaks into the back line inside the 18, and it's touched away by Duncan.
Unfortunate header right there from Memphis, something that you would want to head forward instead of flicking on for the opposition.
Miller to throw. A lot of pressure on Duncan's service in. Elizabeth Moberg's been waiting for her moment, has been steady when balls come her way.
She definitely has been very consistent, saving those high percentage saves that you want your keeper to save.
Bushman gets it away from trouble. Now Stainbrook flips it back to Bushman, who plays it to her keeper. Hold your breath. Anytime a keeper touches the ball with players coming, you got to be careful.
You never know what will happen.
We've seen too many deflected goals, and that's exactly what Boychuk was trying to draw there. A lot of contact as Utah Valley's Juliana Carter called for the foul.
Get a nice little entry pass, but again, that touch is a little bit too heavy. If she gets a little bit more control under that, then she won't be diving in to recover the ball for a foul.
Missing the target there of Sadie Brockbank, who's playing with a yellow card. Here comes Memphis, who had struggled down the stretch in American Athletic Conference play, gets second life into the tournament, and here they sit scoreless in a good battle in the first round.
Utah Valley is doing a good job of keeping the field compact. Everybody's staying in their lines, talking and communicating. Memphis can't get a lot out of that.
Substitution for Memphis. Stella Downing, the freshman out of Vancouver, British Columbia, enters the game. Her first minutes of the second half. And Samantha Murphy takes a breather. Memphis does not go very deep in its bench, but keep in mind, one of the top options, Clarissa Laracy, not available for tonight's proceedings. That's going to be tested with the main attacker out. Moberg, risky pass, and is taken away by Utah Valley. Up ahead in dangerous position, and the Wolverines strike first on the foot of Brockbank.
What a great goal right there. A great way to intercept a pass and then go on the break quickly.
Sadie Brockbank, her 6th goal of the season. That gives Utah Valley a huge boost.
Obviously not the clearance you would want there from Memphis. Utah Valley's in a great position and then starts to put it back into the danger area. Nice little flick ball in. Nice touch there by Brockbank. And then, again, the finish. The finish is what it is. That's what you would like as a forward.
Team high 6th goal for Brockbank, who had been pressing high this whole second half. And she needs the oxygen tank after scoring that goal.
Definitely. I think she got a lot of energy not only out of the goal, but the celebration.
Sadie Brockbank, a huge moment for the Wolverines. Here's Boychuk going for a goal. And this score could have changed in the blink of an eye.
Utah Valley, now you have to make sure that these next 10 minutes, you got to make sure everything is organized. Because, as we all know, something can happen at an instance, and Memphis could score equalizer.
Utah Valley, when scoring first, 11 wins on the season. This is a tough club to stop when they get rolling. Now does Memphis have life? Here's a late slide tackle. This might be a yellow card as well on Juliana Carter.
Very late tackle at the end.
There it is. Second yellow card for Utah Valley. This is in the 61st minute, along with a 57th minute yellow card for Brockbank.
And if you're Memphis right now, you don't want to panic. Still a lot of time in the game. Make sure that everything, settle it, and then take your opportunities when they come.
As Memphis Tigers trying to rekindle the fire of a overtime win at Vanderbilt on March 28th. A signature non-conference victory. Boychuk, the all-conference midi, sends it forward. Maya Jones trying to get involved in this game, but it's been tough for her to get good touches.
It has been. DeWall's been doing a great job not only on her, but Bochersky. So it's been tough on both of them to get things going when DeWall's been on them.
Memphis searching for space. Avery finds Boychuk. Boychuk. And again, as quality as these looks are, going to have to be a little closer on target for Memphis.
Again, you're going to have to pull those out a little bit further, put them right there on the 6. You might have had Stella Downing. Again, we'll see it here. Again, if you pull that out a little bit and put it in that area on the top of the 6, maybe Stella Downing can make something happen by running across the defender or being scrappy and getting a touch.
Tanya Boychuk, a team-high 7 points. Utah Valley has been in this position before. 10 shutouts as a team defensively in 20 matches. Jones-Daw sends it away. And that's a handball on Memphis. Quickly, you see Bochersky trying to get that ball back in position. Clock starts to become a factor here as we tick under 30 minutes.
There's no doubt about it. Utah Valley is very conscious of that. They want to slow the game down when there's dead balls and dead times for that they can walk. And again, you just want to take off as much clock as possible at any moment.
Nicole Olanda to serve it in, the sophomore out of Hawaii. That plays to the front of the box. That's dispossessed nicely by Downing. Downing sends it back to her defender. I thought she was going to play that wide.
Good composure. She saw that it wasn't there anymore, so she wanted to just connect.
Utah Valley scored on a scramble play. Now in a similar moment, they have possession here. Good defensive touch by Storty. Here comes Grace Storty into the attacking end. Storty trying to go for goal herself, and Bushman is all over it.
A little bit too much towards the end. Once you get that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th touch, you might want to look to dish it out and then continue to run.
Here's Avery with space. Utah Valley collapsing in defensively after a go-ahead goal in the 60th minute. Bochersky. Whoa, what a footwork there defensively by Olanda.
I think both these outside backs have done a great job adjusting in the second half. Patient, seeing their moments, wait for the mistake, and then win the ball.
Between Duncan, Olanda, gosh, the defense, we've seen Jenna Shepard as well for Utah Valley. This is a high-quality game if you want to see outside backs playing this position.
Definitely. As you can see, it's a collective effort from all of them. They all have energy. They're not going to let anything go by easy.
Remember, Maya Jones, the midfielder of the year in the American Athletic Conference, has been relatively quiet in this matchup, trying to push forward and provide some offense for Memphis. This is the space to do it with Avery. Avery out ahead and way past her target. So a goal kick for Utah Valley. Memphis' success of this matchup, Jordan, has been playing the long ball, shooting from distance. Is that a style that can continue to work with 25 minutes left?
You would like to think that they want to get closer to net. Those long shots aren't going to be in the high percentages of shots on goal. So, again, those opportunities aren't going to be the greatest. You want to, again, get it in closer, maybe get a little bit more crosses that get into the top of the PK spot or the 6 and give yourself a better chance.
A little miscommunication here as Jones-Daw has to shoot it out. Remember, Memphis is without one of its top scorers, Clarissa Laracy, 3 goals on the year, out for this matchup. And it's Utah Valley leaning on Sadie Brockbank, her 6th goal of the year. That was back in the 60th minute.
It'll be interesting to see how this game goes as far as if Memphis is now going to start to press a little bit more.
This is Memphis' 9th trip to the NCAA tournament. Their last win 10 years ago against UT Martin. And the Tigers have some work to do in this second half to extend their tournament run. Ball played at the feet of Moberg. Nice header forward by Utah Valley. Nothing coming of it as Avery sends it ahead to Storty. Storty trying to connect with Jones. DeWall knocks it loose. And that's a corner kick for Memphis.
Here comes an opportunity for him. You want to make the most of these right here because you don't know how many more you'll get.
Here comes Lisa Pachurski to the corner. Maya Jones, the top assist getter with 4, heads into the box. Let's see what Pachurski has dialed up right here. The senior serves it in. Knotted down in the box. And nicely cleared out. Olanda all over it.
Great effort right there, making sure that there's not another corner. As you see that corner a little bit too far away from the danger area, you want to put that, again, a little bit closer to the 6. Put it in the fray, see what happens.
Brianna Eves with a critical touch as that ball was bouncing in. Otherwise, Jones was right there on the back post ready to score.
Of course. No, she had to make sure. You always want to be safe than sorry.
While Memphis has had more possession in the first half, Utah Valley has flipped the script here in the second. Look at Isabel Jones-Daw coaching him up from the goalkeeper position. She was part of the all-tournament team in the WAC, pitched a shutout in the final, and has put up a similar effort here tonight. Memphis to throw. Pachurski finds her option in Miller. Sarah Miller driving in. That shot is pretty good. As Jones-Daw is all over it.
Getting a little bit more here. They're starting to pick it up a little. Again, a shot on frame is good for their confidence. Maybe they'll push them to get some more.
Brooks Monaghan's club, 32 combined wins in the last 3 years for Memphis. They will need a trick out of the bag in this second half to break down Utah Valley's defense. There's the dispossession. Boychuk turns. Here's Storty with space. She can really fly from the back line. Storty through the middle of the defense. Tempted to pass, and it's deflected away. She gets it back.
Great effort.
Storty for goal, and another deflection.
It's a great effort by Storty to stay with it. Great effort. You want to keep it in on the attacking half.
And Memphis to throw. Grace Storty, her 12th start. She's played in all but 5 minutes this year, showing the effort now.
Again, great effort, but great block right there by Utah Valley. Again, all of their players are selling out. They're definitely a disciplined defensive team.
Downing, nifty dribble. Did that hit the hand? No, it hit the belly, the side of the stomach for Haley Spray. Very close in that moment.
We're starting to see Memphis pick it up a little bit more. Again, a nice cutback, getting a shot. Close right there, right under by the side of her.
Wow, very close to a handball. Instead, play continues. There's a good clearance by Caroline Duncan. Memphis trying to make a run in the final 20 minutes. Olanda has had none of it today. Knifing everything from Memphis. And a Utah Valley throw.
I think we're going to see more and more of every time the ball goes out and it's a Utah Valley throw, it's going to slow the game down. They're going to want to walk and take as much time as possible. So for Memphis, they're going to want to keep the ball in play.
Utah Valley knows how to play defense. They stopped Sydney Carr out of Seattle, who leads the country in goals scored this year. Held her scoreless in 2 matchups, and big reason why Utah Valley won the WAC to advance to this NCAA.
Tough task when you play forwards like that, but it always looks like Utah Valley is up for the challenge.
Duncan with a good clearance forward. Here comes Brockbank, who lost it for the moment. Maya Jones on the near side, the midfielder of the year in the the American Athletic Conference. Try saying that 5 times.
It's a tongue twister, I tell you.
Between the MAC and the AC and the WAC, the Skiddly WAC, the SWAC.
There's a lot of them, I'm telling you.
A lot of fun conferences to watch here battle today.
We could go on for days to see if we could keep up.
We need some karaoke to keep up with Brooks Monaghan, who's got a fun personality on that bench for Memphis. Jordan, you had the pleasure of working with Brooks for a couple of seasons, and his club is on the precipice here trying to tie this match up.
Of course, definitely, obviously a great program, and right here they're going to have to push to get a goal.
Utah Valley has pitched 10 shutouts as a team. This is nothing new for the Wolverines, who played the 5th most games in the country this spring, 20 contests. And Coach LeMay gave credit to his players for staying in proper safety and health protocols, but also for the conference of the WAC for pushing for double matchups and home and road series and trying to add to the schedule with non-conference games as well.
No, it's always awesome if you can to get as many games as possible as far as within the COVID era. Obviously, we want to all stay safe and healthy, so it's just a credit to the conference and the program of making sure that they have stayed safe and healthy while playing all these games.
18 minutes to play. A trip right here on this field Saturday to take on Arkansas is on the line as Duncan skies that out of play.
Those are going to be crucial again. You can see Utah Valley slowing things down. Memphis doesn't want to have a lot of those moments where they're kicking the ball out of bounds. They have to see the ball hit their foot and make sure it stays in play.
And the player who has booted it out, Caroline Duncan, has played every minute over the last 2 years. What a crucial defender, along with her twin sister, Grace Duncan, who's on the attacking end. Open space here for Juliana Carter. Little give and go touch down the line. Utah Valley in no rush. Up a goal on the strike from Brockbank. Here's Sadie with it now. And Sadie draws the throw.
A nice little 1-2 there. As you can see, Memphis is starting to dive in a little defensively. Again, Utah Valley's picking up on that and keeping possession by, again, countering their diving in by keeping the ball, dribbling around them.
Head referee calls that a Memphis throw. Mark Catalyst all over it. He overruled the line judge on that one. That was where the confusion first dropped in. So substitution for Memphis. Samantha Murphy re-enters the game. Claire Avery heads to the bench. Murphy, the senior attacker with 45 career points. And I know exactly what the assignment is for Murphy with 16 to play.
Definitely. So you can see these substitutions are going to be crucial in the match towards the end.
Look at that young man in the hat go. He's got some hustle. Probably won't get a candy bar out of it, but you got to appreciate the determination. Must be a fan of the Memphis Tigers.
He's moving a lot better than I am these days.
Because if he's a fan of Utah Valley, he's going to take 20 minutes to get that ball. It's gamesmanship that all goes on.
Parents might have told him to slow down a little.
Oh, you know what? Actually, that young man has a Utah Valley shirt on. He's just a good sport. I really appreciate that. Pretty neat here in the first round of the NCAA championships. Utah Valley searching for its first ever win in tournament play. Memphis 1-8 all time. And they've had some recent demons trying to fight them off here with Tanya Boychuk. Tanya running with a full head of steam and is dispossessed by Alanda.
Getting a little bit too much here for Memphis as far as they got to get a pass off.
Miller dribbling. Miller creating. Centering. And Bushman's all over it. That is saved by Brockbank, and the back line of Utah Valley has been excellent tonight.
Great effort there by Miller, but again, the Utah Valley defense is right there ready to get it and clear it away. They have been solid throughout this whole game. They're not going to give anything easy.
Utah Valley has won or drawn in 8 straight matches. Their last loss to BYU on March 17th. And the Cougars, a nationally ranked program, 12th overall. Memphis with a full head of steam. Kimberly Smith finds Boychuk. Funnels it ahead to Downing. And Downing commits the foul outside the 18. Good defensive effort by guess who? Jenna Shepard.
Always there, always there. Again, there's a reason why she was the WAC Defensive Player of the Year. She is somebody that they can count on along with the rest of that back line.
Jenna Shepard, not only captain, Coach LeMay can always count on her to do her best. And we're seeing it right here.
Great by her to attack it and not wait on it. Again, you see it being put in. As a defender, those bouncing balls in your defensive third can be trouble, but great by her to attack it and not sit there and wait on it.
Especially with indecision, you're right, because Memphis was ready to strike with Stella Downing. Here's Maya Jones, who's about as electric as any player on this field, trying to get more involved as she moves around the pitch. Haley Spray turns it over, trying to fight for it back, and a foul on the freshman.
Again, that final pass for Memphis, the final pass to execution, not there, a little bit off. If they can clean that up a little bit, we might see a lot more chances here in the last 14 minutes. But again, the Utah Valley outside backs are up for the challenge. They've been doing a great job here in the second half, both of them.
Every time we talk about Jenna Shepard and Nicole Landa, it's been nothing but positive. Those two have been excellent on defense.
I think Coach LeMay is going to be very happy with his backline group.
Chris LeMay said the challenge coming into playing Memphis, they are very good on set pieces, and we have not seen many from the Tigers tonight. A team that has thrived on corner kicks especially. Now can Memphis manufacture here with Paczerski? Boychuk wants a pass, and that's well off her intended target. Carter out with space. That is offside.
That's unfortunate for Utah Valley because for Memphis, that's a crucial mistake. You want to be able to hit your target, play feet. Right there, you miss it, and then you have to track back about 40 yards. And they're very lucky that
Brockbank had a lot of space.
Offsides.
Who already scored the go-ahead goal in the 60th minute. Good dispossession. Brockbank loses it to Duncan. Downing, nice move. Downing pointing, directing, and is knocked away. That's Heather Stainbrook.
Again, can't give this Utah Valley defense enough credit. They've been playing very well.
You almost wonder with 12 minutes remaining, is Utah Valley a little too passive offensively? Should they gain more possession?
That's a great point. Again, you don't want to just sit back the whole time because then you're just waiting on it. You want to be a little bit more offensive when you can and not just sit back and just wait on everything.
Now a substitution for the Wolverines. 12 minutes to play as Utah Valley searches for a first ever NCAA tournament win. Brockbank, the goal scorer, comes out. And there's Lily Haskins, the freshman out of Provo, Utah.
It'll be interesting to see here if Memphis changes formations to be a little bit more attacking minded and throw a lot more numbers forward and take some risks.
Lily's older sister, Kate, was part of the WAC All-Conference team 2 years ago. Knows this program so well. Boychuk trying to respond with a captain arm sleeve. Gets away from DeWall, who has been excellent on defense. Now a long ball. Dangerous dispossession. Now Memphis, the middle of the field, needing a goal. Really needing a shot on target as well in this second half.
Of course. But Utah Valley, again, they're doing a great job of things that don't show up on the stat sheet. Pokes, effort plays, 50-50 balls. They've been everywhere on that side of the ball.
There's the captain, Amber Tripp, unable to keep it in play, but a lot of clock ticking down with 10 and a half to go. As both teams with substitutions, including for Memphis, another striker, Laura Kazanjian, comes in. Boychuk heads to the bench here with 10 minutes left. Interesting decision as Grace Storty, the defender, also exits.
You got to think that they're just getting a quick break and then coming right back on.
Memphis this year, top scorers all with 3 goals. Paczurski, Storty, Laracy, and Boychuk. There's Paczurski sprinting down the far side, but well out of her reach. Utah Valley, meanwhile, about as balanced of a scoring club as any team in the country. 6 players with at least 4 goals. And the top goal scorer, Brockbank, got her 6th in this second half to put the Wolverines in front. Man, this top right corner of the bracket gets oh so interesting. Winner of this game takes on Arkansas tonight. Ohio State Stony Brook play to face Santa Clara. Then the top dogs of UCLA in the top half of the bracket for whoever escapes out of these next 2 games. That matchup will be on May 9th in Cary, North Carolina. There's Moberg with the dangerous boot. And that's a tough spot to put it. Paczurski was right there.
Good for her to keep it in, but obviously that's very tough for her. And now we're going back and forth on the possession. Let's see who can settle it down.
Memphis down to its final 9 minutes in desperate need of a goal. Good open space for Murphy. That is closed down quickly by Heather Stainbrook. Utah Valley 11-1 this year when scoring first. They had a 60th minute goal from Brockbank. Now searching to hang on defensively. Open space for Kazanjian and a turnover. Might get it right back here on a bouncing ball. Rathburn sends it out. Here's Maya Jones. Jones lost her feet. Here's Downing in the corner. Marked defensively by Shepard. Downing dribbling in and dispossessed. Eight minutes to play.
It's a tough one right there. Stella Downey did a great job cutting in, but you might want to see her connect to somebody at the top of the 18 after she garnered all those eyes.
Memphis with a quick substitution. Grace Storty checks in. Samantha Murphy to the bench.
Looks like Coach Monaghan is throwing Grace Storty up top.
She does have a goal-scoring ability. 3 of them on the year. Memphis needs a shot on target and quickly. Claire Avery able to create space past Miller. This long ball to Paczurski is onside. And a goal kick for Utah Valley.
A little bit too much on that pass. It was a great idea, but you got to take a little bit off to keep it in play.
Paczurski so involved in that first half. Hit the crossbar a couple of times. Quality shots on target. And now in the second half, what's made it difficult for Memphis to get anything going?
Again, credit to these outside backs. DeWall and Olanda, they've been doing a great job of making adjustments. I'm sure Coach LeMay has talked to them about being a little bit more patient, because Paczurski and Maya Jones, all they want to do is go at you and find a weakness and find a point of opening and take it. But these 2 outside backs have been doing phenomenal.
Memphis running out of time. One of the last teams into the NCAA tournament, a club that was thought its season was over after an AAC tournament loss to Cincinnati. Gets the at-large berth on Monday and now playing down to its final 6 minutes. Caroline Duncan plays it ahead. Here's Brockbank. Paczurski inside to Storty. Back up to Kazanjian, who has her shot deflected. Miller still moving in. And that's wisely cleared out. Dangerous long ball headed out. Olanda got her noggin on it. And here's Miller up ahead.
That's a great job on Utah Valley getting on that second ball and not letting it be dangerous in their area.
All the way back to Moberg with 5.5 minutes left. Here's the high press of the Wolverines. That's their strength. And a foul here. That's Cassidy McCormick.
Getting a nice little battle right there. McCormick's not going to let it go easy. Again, that's a foul that you'll take as a coach.
A smart foul indeed. Bushman knocked it down with her head. Little bicycle clearance by Nicole Ray. We hit the final 5 minutes of this second half. The lone difference, a 60th minute goal from Brockbank, who since scoring the goal has taken an oxygen break and has gone to the bench, with her defense now highly involved here for Utah Valley. Promising ball for Memphis. There's Olanda to knock it loose. Miller keeps possession. And that ball cleared into the woods.
Once again, the Utah Valley defense coming up at every single spot on the field.
Checking back in for Utah Valley is Grace Beeston, the freshman defender, as Chris LeMay's club is oh so close to a second-round appearance for the first time in program history.
They're going to have to close out these last 4 minutes and 30 seconds. It's going to be a tough one. But again, we've seen throughout the whole game, I believe they're up for the challenge.
The clock has now restarted, and Memphis has 4.5 minutes to play. Deep ball to the backside is poked away by Utah Valley. A throw in for Memphis and Pachurski.
Now for Memphis, you're going to want to keep it down here.
Here comes the keeper, and Jones-Daw all over it. Not a lot on that service in from Kazanjian.
Not a lot at all. Again, you got to be able to get some kind of contact on that to make sure it gets fully in there. Otherwise, again, good for Jones-Daw. She was at the right place at the right time.
Isabel Jones-Daw, who was an all-tournament team selection in the WAC, searching for her 11th win on the season as a keeper. Needs a few more quality minutes as Downing sprints in. Out to Pachurski. Pachurski gets past Olanda. Here's a promising ball in. Deflected out for a corner.
Again, now they're getting something out of it. If a shot doesn't go on frame, at least you get a corner. Good by Pachurski to get to the end line. Serve it in. Again, deflection, you get a corner. This is going to be a crucial moment for Memphis.
Sarah Miller on the service, the sophomore from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Searching for the equalizer in the closing minutes. Memphis, one of the last teams into the tournament. Do they have a last gasp effort? Miller's ball into the box. Headed out by Bushman. That results in a throw-in.
Right there for Memphis, you might want your back post player, as we see, to start a little bit further back. Again, she got too far in, and then she couldn't get a touch on it.
Memphis, another service in. Over the head of Pachurski. Bodies colliding, play continues, and a Utah Valley throw. What a defensive effort by Utah Valley, especially in the second half.
They're sacrificing their bodies everywhere. Again, they're doing it as a collective unit, and you can see the passion behind this team to make sure that they're all on the same page of giving 100% effort. Utah
Valley has been unbeaten in 8 matches. That is shown on full display here tonight. Play continues. Boychuk with the touch out. Now charging in Duncan. Caroline trying to resurrect her team's life with 2 minutes left. Duncan into the box. That stays in on Pachurski's touch and cleared. Smith from distance. Now Spray finds Pachurski. Pachurski is fouled, and a free kick coming up. Critical spot for Memphis.
This is going to be crucial.
Lara Kazanjian, the freshman out of Quebec, trying to set this up for Memphis. Plenty of chances in the second half for the Tigers.
As you can start to see, they're throwing a lot of bodies up there, and you can even see the goalkeeper Moberg creeping up.
Here's Kazanjian on the service. Down to 87 seconds. Kazanjian delivers. Header is knocked out, and a foul on Memphis.
That's an unfortunate right there. You don't want to give up at that moment to a silly foul.
Jenna Shepard, the all-conference defender, is right in the thick of things.
And right there, as the referee, you can see both arms on her shoulders. That's a call you have to make.
Closing minute here in the second half. Sadie Brockbank's 60th minute strike put Utah Valley in front. The defense has done the work since. And now a ball well out of play.
This is where, for Memphis, you're going to have to put the ball in the danger area. You're going to have to be direct.
A chance for the Tigers. Maya Jones plays it in. Boychuk denied. And the offside flag was up inside the 18.
And that's going to be tough because the clock is still running. Definitely offsides right there. You might want to, again, got to hold your run, especially at this time of the game, because now that moment is gone and the clock is running.
Closing 10 seconds. Jones Daw with a boot out to midfield. As Utah Valley makes history, its first ever NCAA tournament win, taking down Memphis here in the first round. Utah Valley, a 1-0 winner on the golden goal by Sadie Brockbank. We will break this game down with highlights and much more next here from Greenville, North Carolina. Celebration in order for the Utah Valley Wolverines, earning the program's first ever NCAA tournament win, a second half thriller here at Johnson Stadium in Greenville, North Carolina. Utah Valley, a 1-0 victory to move on. It was a game with plenty of chances for both clubs in terms of scoring. And early on in this matchup, Memphis came in as one of the best teams in the American Athletic Conference. Utah Valley unbeaten in 8 straight. That moves to 9. How about this handball early in the first half, setting up a critical chance for the Wolverines?
They had a great chance to go up 1-0 in the first half, but obviously Moberg for the Tigers made a great save. And as you see here, they all had their chances. Both sides had chances, but just couldn't put it in the net at the start of the first half.
Lisa Paczerski for Memphis, 3 shots on target in the first half. And then a crazy play. Brockbank able to convert the go-ahead goal for Utah Valley.
Unfortunately, it wasn't great clearance from Memphis, and Utah Valley countered on that mistake, so good job to them.
Sadie Brockbank, her 6th goal of the season. You could tell 60 minutes in, she knew that was all it was going to take as the Wolverines defense hangs on a low-scoring affair. Not many shots on target for either team as Isabel Jones-Daw gets her 11th shutout of the season, and the Wolverines advance to take on number 6 Arkansas this Saturday at 4 o'clock right here in Greenville on ESPN3 at 4 o'clock. For Jordan Darling, I'm Evan Budrovich, thanking you for joining us here tonight. The game-winning goal by Sadie Brockbank sends Utah Valley on to the second round of the NCAA tournament. Join us tonight as Stony Brook and Ohio State battle at 8 Eastern on ESPN3. This is a presentation of ESPN, the NCAA Soccer Championships, as Utah Valley a 1-0 victor over Memphis.